We've done Liverpool, we've done Chelsea. I think it's fair that we talk about some of the other clubs in the Premier League, especially one club that seems to be making the news on signing youngsters and trying to develop them. It's Manchester United. Ooh. So the big talking point was how they snatched Lenny Yoro from the jaws of Real Madrid, and then
That
they
was a
got, I
big
think,
coup,
Joshua.
right?
I'll discuss that in a bit. And they also got Joshua Zirkzee, I believe,
Yeah.
from Bologna. I believe he
Yep.
was in Bologna. Yeah. Another youngster. He's already playing for the Dutch national side. He didn't start the Euro games, but he came on, I think, as a sub. So you believe that Manchester United have done a really good job in
Yeah.
signing these two talents. I believe that they have actually messed up quite a bit.
Hmm.
So I want to share my thoughts on this first. They spent 50 million on Euro, and they've been saying that, oh, Ineos has done a great job in signing him and all. But we must understand that Liverpool were linked with him, but Real Madrid was seriously linked with him, and Madrid backed out from signing him. They wanted to pay, I think, 25 to 30 million. They did not think he was worth more than that. Potentially, Liverpool thought the same. The funny thing that I've read is that Lille basically forced Euro to join Manchester United. They said that, if you don't play, oh, sorry, if you don't leave and you don't accept this 50 million offer, you will basically not play for us next season and your contract runs out. So he was basically bullied his way, bullied into joining United. And if, if Real Madrid want him, they would have gotten him no matter what happens. So it's interesting that, United got him for whatever amount that they spent. And I want to speak about Xerxes also, then I'll let you cut
Yeah,
in.
yeah.
So
Let's
Xerxes,
you make quite a few points because I will forget. Let me
yeah,
quickly
okay, cool.
respond. Let me quickly respond. So the thing with the Euro situation, you explain it very well, right? Real Madrid obviously wanted him. He wanted to go to Real Madrid, but he only had 1 year left on his contract. So if he did not, go to United, yeah, of course they would get no money for him, and
True.
essentially that is why they accepted Man United's deal. And Real Madrid are notorious for doing this, right? Trying to get these big players for $0 transfer fees. They got Mbappe for nothing, right?
Yeah.
That's unimaginable. And these guys just didn't want them to get away with it. So, and the other thing with Euro is, I get it. He's 18, and 50 million is a big amount, but from all the sources that I've read, he's supposed to be generational. So I'm pretty sure in at least maybe 2 or 3 years, his value will go up at least, till 80, 90.
Uh, he's generational, but he has to be under the right management, right?
Mhm.
For his development. Now, I'm not quite sure that Eric Ten Hag is the right person to lead United, let
Mhm.
alone these youngsters. So we'll also talk about Xerxes. Xerxes is also another
Yeah.
youngster who's not the finished product. I think he scored only 13 goals last season as a striker in Serie A. They got Rasmus Højlund also from Serie A, I believe, and he also hasn't hit the ground running. Uh, so Ten Hag being the manager as it is, like there were murmurs of him not continuing the season. United couldn't get somebody to replace him. Basically, that was the story. So they're splashing the cash. I don't think there is any proper game plan set by Ten Hag. They still have the same problems. The midfield is still questionable with Casemiro and all.
Mhm.
So the youngsters might have gone there fine. They might get a good paycheck and all, but I'm not quite sure they'll develop as well as we expect them to. I don't think they'll touch the potentials under Ten Hag.
So one of the reasons why I think Man United have done well with their new ownership, the Ineos group, right, is they're not going after basically people who are, has-beens, right? In a way, it's kind of harsh, but they used to buy like Varans and Casemiros and all of these guys who were clearly beyond their peak. And instead now, at least they're investing that in somebody who's generational and Euro. Xerxes is also pretty young. He ticks a lot of boxes. He's, technically good. He's pretty physical, can shoot. So let's see. I think they've at least turned a corner and they have kind of course corrected. Time will only tell whether it's the right decision
Maybe
or
they
not.
could have spent 100 million to sign Endo. I don't know.
Okay, moving on. Let's talk quickly about Arsenal because they're about to sign Calafiori, right? We talked
Another
about
center back.
yeah, we talked about
Another
how
center back.
yeah, but we talked about how the Calafiori was highly coveted by multiple
Yes.
teams, including Liverpool. And so, once they get Calafiori, their defense becomes pretty impenetrable if you think about it. They have, Ben White, they have Saliba, they have Gabriel, and then on the left, they have Calafiori. And what
They've
they say,
got
defense wins
wins
championships.
titles. Yep,
Yeah.
yep. So they've got Julian Timber, they've got Pablo Mari,
Yeah. All
they've
those guys.
got that Polish right back Kibwa.
Yep.
Kivion. I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce it. So Arteta is going to follow the Pep Guardiola latest
Yeah. Playbook. Yeah. 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 Four center backs. Yeah.
four centre backs. So I'm not sure how you go about that. They've got obviously Declan Rice and Thomas Partey who are really good in the heart of the midfield. So I don't know. So obviously there is a plan, there is a thought process there that we'll be impenetrable and obviously you can't
Mm-hmm.
score, and then we'll go out and we use Saka, we lose Gabriel Jesus, Gabriel Martinelli, and try to win the game. And obviously they have a star in Odegaard. That guy's really come up leaps and bounds since returning from I think Real Madrid or signing from Real Madrid. Sorry. So it's interesting that they got Calafiori. I was expecting Calafiori to end up somewhere else. Obviously, I thought that he'd come to Liverpool. Uh, and it'll also be interesting to see if he starts for Arsenal because will he
I
play
think
as a
so.
left back? Yeah. It'll be interesting. So yeah, Arteta's setting up something really good. They were really close last season,
Yeah.
and then they fell off. So
So
maybe this is the missing piece in the puzzle. I don't know.
I mean, they
Maybe.
didn't really fall off though. It went till the last day, right? It went
Oh yeah. So it
yep,
was the
yep,
season prior to that. So
yeah,
it was
yeah,
the
yeah.
last day. Yeah. So maybe one step closer. Who knows?
So
Liverpool have been there.
yeah, I think the fact that they've really kind of made their defense impenetrable, it kind of I think they'll probably win it this time, especially because City, the only player they've bought is I think a winger, Brazilian winger called Savino. I
Savio.
think he's
Sa-
good,
yeah.
or but I don't know whether that addresses like issues with Kyle Walker, and a lot of their players
Edison.
are getting older. Kevin De
Yeah.
Bruyne is getting older. Bernardo Silva. I don't know.
And there are these crazy links coming out from City. I mean, this is something that's unimaginable. Edison's been linked with a move away.
Hmm.
And reports are saying that, Stefan Ortega will be the number one at City. He's a good keeper. There's no doubt about that. Walker, as you rightly said, is a problem. I was reading today that the striker, Alvarez, he wants to go to a sunnier
Yes.
climate.
Yep. Doesn't get game
So,
time, right? Yeah.
yeah, and he doesn't get game time. Kevin De Bruyne was linked with a move to, I think, Saudi Arabia or
Yeah.
something,
Yeah. Yeah.
which
Yeah.
Pep was quick to, shut it down, and City were quick to shut it down.
It's going
So
to be interesting.
it's it's going to be interesting because City have issues, and if teams try to take them on, there is a chance that they can make a point easily. I think teams give City and Arsenal way too much respect when they're playing them, and they just shut up shop. But City, more than Arsenal, now seem vulnerable. That at least we can
Yes.
score a goal against them,
Exactly.
which wasn't the case 3-4 years back, where they would just blow you away. So next season could be Arsenal's year. I mean,
Yeah.
as much as I
I
hate to
think
say it,
so. My money is
yeah.
on them actually. Yeah. Let's see
Oh
what
wow.
happens.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh
Let's
yeah,
see.
and speaking about Savino, yeah, I wanted to discuss this. This is another shady deal from the City group of
Of
City Football
course,
Group. Yeah, it
the
has to be.
shady City
So,
football group.
so he joined Troyes, which is part of the City group, for a record fee or something. I don't know. I don't remember. He joined Troyes, but ended up playing for PSV on loan. Then joined Girona, which is also part of the City group. So he never played for Troyes. He was just signed by them, and then City bought him from I think Troyes itself. So money basically is going around in a circle,
Hmm.
and Savino is here. So ah, I don't know. And speaking of this, I wanted to put this out also. Unfortunately, Bordeaux, which is one of the legendary football clubs, right? They are, I think, winding up because they couldn't find an investor. Uh, the worst part I've read is that they're still owed money by clubs after signing players. One of them being Barcelona, who signed Malcolm from him. They
Oh
still
my
owe them
God.
around 9 million.
Hmm.
And Malcolm moved to Barcelona, I think 4 5 years back, and then he
Yeah.
moved to some other club. Was it Malcolm? Or was it somebody else? I think
Yeah. I
Malcolm
think
only. I'm not
Malcolm.
quite
Yeah.
sure.
Right.
Malcolm. So that's very sad to see stuff like this happening because Bordeaux is a club that a lot of us fans who started watching football in the late 90s, early 2000s would know because they were a decent French club at that time.
Hmm.
So very sad. But anyway, that's football, I guess now.
Yep. Yep. Okay, moving on. I wanted to quickly touch upon a couple of the teams who've done pretty well. I think one of them is Aston Villa. They've obviously
Oh
qualified
yeah,
for the Champions League this time. and they've
First
signed
time in 42 years they're returning to the
exactly.
Champions League.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
Unai
they've
Emery.
signed Jan Matson from Chelsea, a really good left back who was in the Champions League team of the season last year. They've signed Onana from Everton, tall,
This is an amazing
strong,
signing. Yeah.
exactly, tall, strong central midfielder who can cover ground, who can give you defensive security. I think that makes them quite strong. I think they're losing Diaby to Saudi Arabia, but they'll probably reinvest that money on somebody.
Yeah. So they're also getting this talent from Hull. I think I might mispronounce his name, Philogen.
Yes.
Yeah. He scored an amazing goal last season, a Rabona goal for Hull, which was linked. A lot of people said that he was going to win the Puskás Award. So that is a player I think we all need to keep an eye on, especially with Emery playing this really attacking formation and this thing. They've also got a very interesting signing in Ross Barkley,
Mm-hmm.
former Chelsea player, former Everton player. Barkley was actually one of the best players in the season last time around. Unfortunately, he was playing for Luton Town and they got relegated, and people don't really remember him. But he was really good, especially from a deep midfield position. That's one. And the Musa Diaby one is very interesting because he was signed last season
Yeah.
for a record fee. He was the record signing, and he's gone after 1 year. So obviously, Saudi is going to pay him a bucket load to join them.
Yep.
Uh, I mean, he was still in his prime. I think he could have gone to a
Absolutely.
bigger club to win.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that scratches my head. But then that was something that even Oscar did from Chelsea.
Exactly, exactly.
He
It
went to China.
basically,
He went to China.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It changes like your family kind of
A
finances
hundred
for the
percent.
next
So
5 generations. So I mean,
yeah,
you
yeah, yeah.
can't blame
So
them. Yeah.
I'm not blaming him. I'm just saying that
Yep.
he could have gone to a club. Also, so just to finish off with Villa, they've been linked with some really good players. So John Duran seems to be on his way out. I think Chelsea were linked with him, right?
Yeah, but they backed out
Yeah,
for some
they
reason.
backed up. They are linked with Dortmund's Karim Adeyemi and Wow Felix,
Hmm.
who could be on his way out. So yeah, I mean
Joao
Villa
Felix
could
is an
actually.
enigma, man. He just doesn't seem to settle wherever he goes. Yeah.
So if you go to so when you're a talent from Portugal and you've got flair and you've got your ability, why would you end up at Atletico Madrid under Diego Simeone? That was one of the strangest transfers I've ever seen in my life. Like, how is
True.
Simeone gonna improve you as from an attacking point of view?
I think Joao Felix, he spent some time at Chelsea as well, and he went to Barcelona. So from his time at Chelsea, there's no doubt about his skills and his flair. The issue with him is he's not 100% kind of engaged all the time, and especially in a league as physical, as intense, and as quick as the
Mm.
Premier League, he can be caught
Yeah.
out, especially in defensive situations. And when the margins are so small, you really can't afford to have somebody not contributing in all aspects of the game. Anyways, we'll see. But Aston Villa, as you said, have done well. I wanted to quickly talk about Brighton as well, because as usual they've done some smart business. They got this really talented youngster from Arsenal called Amario Cozier Duberry. I think he basically for no transfer fees. He's supposed to be very exciting, and they also got Jakub Minte from Newcastle. He's again an exciting forward player, and I think Brighton might do pretty well as usual. They've made some good bargain buys. And then finally, I wanted to talk about Tottenham and the fact that
Mm.
they got Archie Gray from Leeds because he's
Gonna
really
be really
exciting.
good. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. He
yeah,
was
yeah.
the EFL, I think, Young Player of the Year last season.
Yes. Yep. Yep.
And he's amazing in the heart of the midfield. Leeds, I think, just missed out on reaching the Premier League. I think they lost in the playoff finals. Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
think so. Yeah.
So yeah, in the playoff finals. So I think he's at the right club because Postecoglou plays a really good brand of football. He's got a lot of young talents there, and I think so some transfers just seem to make sense. I think this one does. I think he's going to grow well over there. He's under a really good manager, and I don't think there'll be that much pressure on him as it would have been if he had joined some other bigger clubs because they would have expected a lot more. So I'm hopeful that he develops well there. I'm really interested to see how he does.
Yep. 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 Okay, I think that's all we wanted to talk about today. As usual, thank you so much for listening and watching our podcast. Please like, share, and subscribe if you like our podcast or if you like our shorts. And please let us know, what we can do to improve. Please comment, and we're reading all your comments. And as usual, have a wonderful week. We'll come back next week. Maybe we'll review some of the preseason games. And if Liverpool make some signings, we'll talk about that as well.
If Liverpool make a signing, I'm going to do a single episode. Like I'll be the one talking for 45 minutes.
Yes,
Like
yes.
that's gonna be.
I'll be doing drum rolls behind throughout.
You need a marching band or something, man. What are you
Yes.
saying?
Okay. Bye bye.
Bye bye, guys.